it was an amazing period of time when the bands first got there. We had a big scale party in Gorky Park in Russia, and it was so off the hook. These guys were not holding anything back. Sebastian Bach. I mean, he's running up to old ladies and like trying to kiss them, this big giant guy with long hair. And, I mean, he's just like out there and just, the whole scene was just East meets West in this huge, thing like that. And, one of the things I remember is I went out to see Motley Crue perform at one point in time. I didn't really get to go out too often because I was working so much, but I went out to watch them play. And Nadia was there, the translator, and the crowd was going crazy. They loved them. And at the end of the performance, Nikki takes his bass guitar, and he turns it upside down and smashes it on the floor, Pete Townsend style. And the crowd just goes still. And I look around and I go, what just happened? And Nadia looks at me and she says, Pete, I know bands who have bass players and they play with 2 strings because they can't find the strings to buy to replace the strings on their guitar.
Wow.
For you to smash a guitar in front of this group, it's like drinking water in front of someone dying of thirst. Just give someone the guitar. Yeah. You see? So this is all part of the clash that's occurring, at the time. But one of my favorite stories is a really deep story that's relatively untold. And I didn't witness this myself, so I have to put that caveat on it. But the truth is that the biggest star who was there wasn't the headliner, Bon Jovi. It was Ozzy. Now, we stayed at the Ukraine Hotel, and what really happened was that Russian motorcycle bikers came from all over the Soviet Union, and they lined the motorcycles down the road that went to the Ukraine Hotel, and they stood there waiting to see Ozzy. And when Ozzy went by, these guys were really like Hell's Angels, badass bikers. They all just kind of stood there like this with this nod of approval, like, yeah, baby, yeah, man, yeah. Wow. And it was just hundreds of them. And so Ozzy was the man for them. So the real problem was the billing went Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, and then Ozzy. So right before the show started, apparently, Ozzy went to Doc McGee and said, hey, listen, man, I had no idea how big I was here, but I understand this is John's show and he's the headliner and everything, but if you put me on before, Motley Crue, I'm on the next plane out of here. So he's ready to leave. He wants to be the second billing. And so this is a really hard conversation to have with any band, much less Motley Crue. Mm-hmm. And, let's just agree, Tommy Lee is a pretty hot-headed fellow, Now, there was a complication to the story as well, because I understand indirectly that Doc McGee also told Motley Crue that they couldn't use their pyrotechnics at the end of their performance, which I think maybe is part of the reason why Nikki was prompted to, slam his bass guitar, because he didn't really have the explosiveness that he wanted. And by the way, I'm in Idaho, and Nikki Sixx is from Jerome, Idaho, and went to high school with my friend out here, just to let you know, okay? So he doesn't talk about it a lot, but he's from Jerome. Anyway.
Well, he was Frank Ferrano back then.
Yes, Frank. That's right.
Wow.
And
Potato eating Frank.
when Bon Jovi went on the first night, because they played multiple nights, the first night he went on, he ended the show with pyrotechnics.
Oh,
and I
boy.
saw Tommy Lee running like a track meet underneath the stage show as fast as he could. And I only heard indirectly that he ended up getting his hands on Doc McGee right after those explosions went off. And, yeah. He may have put his hands on Doc. I'm just saying. And
That's
so
where Bon Jovi wrote the lyrics, "Lay your hands on me."
Yeah.